Sometimes things turn out a lot better than you think. So this is what happened. I've had this date that's been for a few days. I've been very anxious. Most of y'all have worried the crap out of me. I mean, some of y'all's concerns were things that never crossed my mind. But okay, so he picks me up. I get in his truck. We go, we're leaving my neighborhood, and I live deep in a subdivision. So before we get out of the subdivision, my phone goes off, and my first thought is that this is one of my staff, that they're having what they think is an emergency, what have you. So I say to him, I'm so sorry. I just want to check, make sure they're all okay. And, and he said, no, that's fine. So I dig in my purse and I get my phone out, and it's Mr. Oh, wow. I thought, oh shit, I guess we're going to have this conversation. It's going to have to happen. It's got to happen. So I don't read it because it's 10 paragraphs long, right? And so I said, I really need to talk with you about something before we get to the restaurant. And he says, okay, yeah, what is it? And I said, no, it's this may... and he says, whoa, what's wrong? We're at a stop sign. He says, should I pull over? I said, maybe just for a minute. And so we pull over. We're in front of a house. And while we're having this conversation, in the midst of this, it's not actually my neighbor, but in the neighborhood, they come out, they turn their outside light on and stuff. And we're like, oh my God. Anyway, so I try to tell him, and I say the guy's name, and he's looking at me like I got two heads. And I said, so I really believe that he works for you. And he said, what's his name? And I told him, and he said, are you sure? I said, yeah, he works at this company. I said, yes. And he said, what's he look like? And so I described the photograph that I have of him. And he said, you sure that's his name? I said, yes, that's his name. I said, why? He said, do you have a picture? So after a little further investigation here on the side of the road in front of this house, I pull out my phone and I scroll back through all the things. And I said, this photo, this is him. And he's like, that son of a bitch. I said, huh? He said, that's not his name. He said, that's his first name, but that's not his last name. I said, oh, well, I thought that and so now I'm scrolling and I'm looking and I'm sure that's his name. And he says, no, that's not his name. I said, are you sure? He said, yeah, I'm sure he works for me. I said, oh, okay. He said, this guy, he said, oh, and he took a deep breath and he got real quiet and I got a little bit